everybody, it's Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team, powered by Keller Williams, with, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, one of my all-time favorite teachers, a guy that I respect, a guy that I admire, a guy that I tried to emulate in the classroom to some extent. Of course, I was in a different classroom setting than when I had you, but just a all-around great guy and an MTSU supporter, and just all kinds of things that I like about you. You know, you like elephants. I prefer giraffes, but that's okay. You know. So this is Dr. Vincent Smith, and what is your official title now?
I am professor and chair of the Department of Marketing.
Okay. Now, it used to be the Department of Business
Education, Marketing Education, and Office Management.
Office Management. There you go.
And we've had a number of names over the years.
Yeah, because it changed even at like BCEN or something,
It
right?
did. Business Communication and Entrepreneurship.
Right.
When entrepreneurship became a major
Right.
within the college. And then about 4 years ago, the department was reorganized, and entrepreneurship joined the management faculty, and the marketing faculty joined the business communication faculty.
Interesting.
So business ed and marketing education is now part of the Department of Marketing.
Okay. Just curious, what was the reasoning for kind of switching those?
We had some administrative changes here. We had a new dean that came to campus around that time, and he wasn't really aware of the history of how the departments had developed. And at the time, management marketing was a massive department. They probably had 40 faculty.
Oh, wow.
Business ed, business comm had about 8. So in looking at that, he thought, you know, why don't we switch this up a little bit and balance the two? And he felt like entrepreneurship was more related to management, and that really in marketing it's a lot about communication, so it should be part of the business ed, business communication. And we also certified people in marketing ed. So
Sure.
It was sort of a logical rearrangement for him.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of balanced out the faculty numbers to some extent.
It did. Now our Department of Marketing has approximately 21 faculty.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So I don't know if you know this, I was one of the very first entrepreneurship major graduates.
Really?
And I took the first capstone class that Dr. Marcia Smith had, and you know, we had to make a business plan and defend it, and I got demolished in that. I mean, absolutely demolished in that business plan. Dr. McGrew. Yes. And oh my goodness, what is his name? He's a bank president, kind of a bigger guy, bald head. He's been around forever. He was with the bank that has the cool fountain on Memorial. Yeah. Anyway, he just destroyed me.
Wow.
And it was good. Like, it was good for me. You know, I mean, I still passed. I still made good grades, whatever. But just to think that I kind of knew what I was doing, and then to be told, no, you have no idea what you're doing.
Wow.
It was a great experience for me, and of course Dr. Marcia Smith was amazing.
Right. Exactly.
Another one of my all-time favorite teachers, actually. Anyway, fun fact there, and so I had you for several different classes. You know, I took you for a class where we played with Dragon Naturally Speaking. You remember that?
Yes, I do. That was a recent developments course, I think, in office technology or something.
Something
like
along
that.
those
Yes.
lines. Mm-hmm. And I had only learned how to type maybe a semester before that.
Wow.
So I said that I wanted to be a business teacher, and in the master's program. And I sat in here with Dr. McGrew, and she asked me, well, how many words a minute can you type? And I just turned beet red.
Right.
And I said, I can't type. And she goes, what? How are you going to teach keyboarding if you can't type yourself? And I was like, well, guess I'm taking a freshman keyboarding class as a master's student. And so anyway, that was a pretty exciting time to sit with a bunch of freshmen as a graduate student.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And learning a skill is one of the things that a lot of students don't really pick up on, because you have to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And when I taught keyboarding, I tell them, you have to look at it like if you were learning to play a musical instrument. You can't just hit it once a week.
Yeah.
You've got to go in over and over and over again before you get good.
Right.
And develop speed.
Well, and I was determined, of course, because that that simple class was what was going to be my income, right? I mean, that was going to be my livelihood. So, yeah, that was very humbling as well. So, very humbling time at that point in my life.
College usually is.
Yeah, I tell you, it was good. Hey, Frank Caperton, do you know Frank?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, so he is a kind of a local historian, pretty cool guy. Okay. He actually says that he went to Milton Church of Christ with Dr. Marcia Smith.
Yes.
So, fun fact, Frank, I played Santa Claus for a Christmas party at Milton Church of Christ.
Really?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah.
That's been quite a while ago.
Dr. Marcia Smith was from Milton. She lived in Milton.
Yep. And now, how long ago did she pass?
It's been several years now. I couldn't tell you exactly. I'd say 5 or 6 at least.
I think that's about right. Yeah. Right. Such a sweet lady.
Yes, she was.
And she ended up, I don't know that she was officially my advisor for my undergrad, but she definitely was my advisor. You know what I mean?
And she was really credited with developing the entrepreneurship program here at MTSU.
Yeah.
She really got the major going and really built it from scratch.
Yeah. Great lady. So, all right. So let's talk about you for a minute. Okay. You told me just a little bit ago you've been here at MTSU for
34 years.
34 years. Where were you before that?
I first came to MTSU as an undergrad student.
Oh wow.
I pretty much grew up down in southern Middle Tennessee in a place called Clifton, and from there I came here as an undergrad. A couple of us from my high school came to MTSU, and at that time this was the biggest place that I think I had ever seen. And when I'm saying the biggest place, we probably had 8,000 to 10,000 students at that time, and that was it. But coming from a small school with a senior class of 25,
oh wow,
coming to MTSU was quite a culture shock, to say the least. But fell in love with it instantly. Came here, wanted to be a business teacher, and so I majored in business ed. Finished, started to look for a job, and was offered a graduate assistantship, like you, and worked in the department. Did the master's degree the next year, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to go out and do high school teaching. So at that time, the high school jobs were not as plentiful as they are now. So I did, a lot of the applications, the interviews, and just waiting for something to open up. And we had a faculty member that left at the last minute out of this department. And the chair at the time, Dr. Drennan, said, are you interested in doing a full-time temporary job for the next year? And I thought, that'd be great. I had already, as a graduate assistant, been teaching a couple courses each semester, and that day we were graduate teaching assistants. So we taught 2 classes for our assistantship. And so I took it for the first year, and then I was offered it a second year, and it went 7 years that I was full-time temporary before I was eventually put on the tenure track, and with that had to complete a doctorate. So I had to continue teaching, to have the income, and so I enrolled at Vanderbilt and went and worked on my doctorate at the same time I was teaching full-time.
Now what's your doctorate in?
My doctorate's in human resource development.
Okay.
Basically a lot of adult education and evaluation and curriculum.
Because that's really, at least it was when I was here, the business education side of things was either prepping you for essentially middle school and high school education, like teaching kids, or corporate training.
Exactly. And that's really, that has really fit my skill set really well, because again, I have all the preparation to teach. I still hold secondary teacher license, and then also with the preparation for the training side, I can sort of do double duty. And the interesting thing is, there's not a lot of difference between the two. The terminology is different, your audience is different, but the basic concepts of, having objectives, assessing those objectives, how you deliver and present instruction, it's very similar.
Sure. And it's really a matter of catering to your audience learning styles,
Exactly.
knowing your subject matter, and then organizing it in such a way that they can digest chunks at a time.
Exactly.
I mean, if you really cook it down, that's pretty much what it is.
And kids learn at a different rate, so you have
Sure.
to do different things for them than maybe with adults. Adults are more interested in, why do I need to know this, and how is it going to help me make money?
Motivations are different.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And kids, you break things down in smaller chunks and do things that capture their interest. But
Right.
Adults, not so much about their interest, but what's in it for them.
Sure. That makes perfect sense. So, well, that's awesome. And now, when did you become department chair?
3 years ago, I became department chair. When the department was reorganized, the first year, Dr. Roy took over as interim chair. And after the first year, he wanted to go back into teaching. So I took it my first year as interim, and then I was named permanent chair after that first year. So just finished my third year and starting my fourth year here.
Now, are you still in the classroom?
Yes, I still teach the equivalent of 2 courses. One of those is a training course that I do for MTSU and Tennessee eCampus, which is a consortium of colleges and universities within the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I offer that course every semester. It's a graduate course, and it's part of their Master of Professional Studies degree. And we use it here. We can use the course for our master students that want to go the non-teaching training route.
Gotcha.
And then I also work with interns in the Master of Science and Professional Science program.
Interesting.
Now, that's a little bit out of character,
Yeah.
but Dr. McGrew, when she was here, worked with Dr. Saeed Farudistan over in Basic and Applied Sciences. They were developing a Master of Science and Professional Science degree, and that degree takes these scientists and gives them, the core courses in their area, but it couples that with a business core. So those students have to take a combined accounting business law course. They take a managerial communication course that we teach here.
Mm-hmm.
They take a leadership course and a statistics course. And then at the end, they have to complete an internship. And
So is it like entrepreneurial science, essentially?
It's a little bit different. There are 7 concentrations. There's one in biotechnology, biostatistics, actuarial science, geosciences, healthcare informatics, fermentation science, and engineering management. I'm surprised I got them all
Good
at
job.
one time. But basically, it takes these science students and gives them the business background that they need to actually function out there in the real world.
Neat.
And MTSU has one of the top programs in the nation for the MSPS. So I'm the business coordinator for that.
Yeah.
So I work with the different departments here in the College of Business to, when they're getting the course together and that kind of thing. And I also supervise all the interns. So
Very cool.
this summer, I have the largest crop of interns that I've ever had. I have 47 interns.
Wow.
Many of them out of the country. We have a large population of students that come here from China in the actuarial science area. So I have about 12 to 15 students that have been interning in China this summer.
Well, MTSU has some pretty hefty ties into China anyway.
Yes.
Correct?
Right.
As a university.
Yes, President McPhee has worked diligently to build relationships with certain universities there in China.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing the fruits of that coming back in terms of students that want to come here and work on that master's degree.
And you guys out there may not know this, but there's actually a Chinese cultural center
Yes.
over at what is that? I don't even know what that building's called.
We call it, the short name is the MEC, the Miller Educational Center, I think.
It was part of the hospital.
Yes.
Back in the day. So up on Bell Street and across from the giant empty field.
On the corner of Bell Street and Highland.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually a pretty neat little spot in there if you've never been in
It's amazing.
the Chinese Cultural Center. It's pretty neat. Very cool. And see, this is, so I'm involved with the National Alumni Association.
Right.
I'm on their board, and if you attended MTSU, even as little as 5 years ago, right, you would not believe the branches, the roots, the feelers that are out now, and the different cool dynamic things that are going on, where I almost feel like it's a return to what college should have been, where there is all this tie-in together, cross department, cross college, cross university collaboration going on, and it's beautiful, and that's real world.
Right. And we have to do that to survive. We can't just operate within our own little pod anymore.
Yeah.
In my area of business education, things have changed so much over the years that you have to reach out and look at some of those other fields as to where those business skills are needed and try to sell those to those other programs, because in and of itself, you only have so many students. Curriculum for the high school that I'm sure you're familiar with from your days in the high school, so many things have changed. Keyboarding is no longer part of high school. It's moved down to the middle school.
Right.
There's a push now to move it even further down into the elementary school. So we lost all of those courses at the high school level. So how do we still ensure that we get the business skills that we need? Well, we have to build in other things, and it may be more entrepreneurship, it may be more marketing related courses.
Sure.
But we have to be willing to go beyond doing just the traditional stuff. And a lot of long-term teachers, when those changes happened, were really frustrated because they were losing the one course that they wanted to teach. But we've learned very quickly that we have to be willing to change and adapt.
Well, I've been out of the classroom now for about 10 years. And even in that length of time, we've gone through a couple of different iterations of, they're almost like high school majors, right?
Yes, exactly.
And it's, I taught some courses. I don't know if you knew this, but I actually wrote 2 state courses, one in digital home technology.
Okay.
So like home automation and the hardware aspect of it. And then another one in mobile electronics that was, it was essentially car stereo installation and, car starters and, different electronics in the mobile environment. Really cool classes. And, I think what we're seeing, and I think our new governor ran on a platform for this, and I 100% believe in this aspect, is that college is great and university is great if that's what you're going to do, right? But getting a degree does not guarantee a high-paying job, and it's just, frankly, it's not for everybody, and that's okay, But you do have to have some kind of skill, right? You do need to be able to do or think something, and so what is that, right? Mm-hmm. Is that being an entrepreneur? I have a kid right now that he wrestled for me. And you know who you are, and he watches every now and then. I just helped him buy a new house, and he was I would say this to his face, so don't be offended. He was terrible in school.
Right.
He did not care. He did not want to be there, and he did everything he could to not be there. Mm-hmm. Right. Smart, right, but just didn't want to be there. So for him to try to go to a university, that'd be an utter waste of resources. Mm-hmm. But now he is an entrepreneur. He has his own shop. He does some other side business stuff. It's all legal. Mm-hmm. And he's doing very well for himself.
Well, there's been so much challenge here recently in terms of universities. They're fighting for enrollment. We've seen declines in a lot of different areas. And the thing that we have to think about, and this goes along with what you said about the governor and his focus on basically work-based kinds of learning, where you actually develop skills that will put you out into a job once you finish school.
That are useful.
Yeah, and we have to think more about that, not just at the secondary level, but at the community college level and also at the university level.
No doubt.
We've had this traditional focus at the university of, these big idea degrees, which cause people to think, and that's great. Thinking
Fantastic.
is wonderful, but if we can develop programs, and I think we're going to have to be competitive, programs that when they finish a 4-year degree, they literally can take that out to a specific job.
Yes.
We're seeing the demand right now in areas like engineering management, the sciences area, where they can literally take that out and go into a lab.
We've got mechatronics here. We've got
exactly.
things that people, and the thing is, you still tie in the big thinking, right? And now you've got somebody that can do something and think about it. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. And if you can leave with some kind of credential, that really moves you up the ladder.
Not just a degree, but a certification
exactly.
that's specific.
Yeah,
license.
I agree.
Yeah, whether it's a teaching license or whatever.
Right. And so I think in higher ed, I think in the university level, we're going to have to do some rethinking about some of the programs that we offer.
And maybe let go of some sacred cows, huh?
Exactly. I think we're going to have to, or modify them in such a way that there is a direct link to a job somewhere, something that's out there.
Well, it's refreshing to hear someone on the 4th floor of a college building to say that, because you're absolutely right, and I think that people are getting it. I mean, I used to say something very unpopular in my classrooms. I taught economics mostly, so high school seniors, and I would tell them, I'm like, listen, you've been lied to. You don't have to go to college to be successful.
Right.
And I mean, I got a little pushback on that from folks outside of that classroom,
Sure.
but I qualified that with, you do have to learn how to do something.
Exactly.
Right? Whether you go and learn how to turn wrenches on a car, or you learn plumbing, or you learn enough business skills to run a lawn mowing business, or you go to school, and whatever it is, you got to learn how to do something and make your way.
Exactly.
Just a degree or just a diploma, quite honestly, unless you're going to continue on the teaching track, you might have a tough time. You're going to have to stretch then and figure out how to apply it.
College is a big investment. I mean, if you just look at the amount of money that it costs.
Yeah.
You see in the news all the time about tuition going up and the cost of books and all these other things. So, and again, from an adult perspective, looking at that, if I'm going to invest that kind of money,
what's my return?
Yeah, what is that return? What am I going to be able to do with that to literally, put myself a step up in the world?
That's right. And then you tie in debt with all of that.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you get some kind of, whatever? I'm not going to pick on any specific one, but something that doesn't immediately translate into an income.
Exactly.
Right. And then finance it over. It seems like your lifetime.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. So, what are some? You've already said some of this. What are some more exciting things going on, maybe in the MTSU community that you're involved in, or even in the department? Excite us about being True Blue.
I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on in the Department of Marketing. About a year ago, we started a new formal concentration in our marketing degree in professional selling.
Oh, wow.
We have found out that is one area that we see a lot of demand for. Companies want salespeople. They want them coming right out of school. We have a great partner that has helped our program with Insurance Group of America, Mr. Jamie No, and Jamie has been super in supporting the sales program by being a sponsor of it financially, with an amazing donation. He donated $100,000 toward the program.
Fantastic.
Because he believes in it that much, to set up the Office of Professional Selling. So we have an Office of Professional Selling here in the department.
That is amazing.
And that program will work with companies, matching students with those companies for internships and opportunities that are out there. That office will work with our sales team, who will go out and compete at different national competitions. It works with our lab. We have a lab here in the building, a professional selling lab that is named after Mel Adams, who you remember as State Farm agent. The State Farm agents in the area got together and sponsored that for him. And we have equipment there where students can do what we're doing here. They videotape their pitches,
Yeah.
and then they're critiqued. They do a speed selling event each year. So we have a lot of things going on right now in the selling area because that is really a hot market.
Well, and I took a professional selling class here, and it was a blast.
Good.
I mean, it was so much fun.
Do you remember who you had?
No, I
Dr.
sat outside
Kim?
of his office
Okay.
over here
Okay.
on the side, and we had to go in and pitch
Yeah.
to him. But it was a great class,
Good.
and I mean that skill it transcends any profession. I mean I tell people all the time, you're always selling.
Exactly. And it's not just real estate or insurance, but even in the medical field, medical sales are hot. Pharmaceutical sales are hot.
Well, just selling your own ideas,
Exactly.
right? Just being the guy that's dynamic in the boardroom or wherever, and selling people on your way of thinking, on your idea. It's leadership. It's all of that.
Exactly. And so we're hoping that program continues to grow by leaps and bounds. In the first year, we've seen some great interest in the program and a number of new majors in that particular area. So
that's killer. I love that.
That's something new within the department that's going on. Laura Buckner, I don't know if you remember Laura Buckner, but
I don't.
She's our marketing internship coordinator. She is now our director of the Office of Professional Selling. So if anybody's interested in that, they could contact her or contact me, and we'll be happy to get them in touch with the right people.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. So if somebody is interested in possibly hiring an intern, they would coordinate through her or you as well?
They would coordinate through her. They could contact me. My email address is vince.smith@mtsu.edu.
Cool.
So just shoot me an email and
I'll
get
put
it to
that in the
right people.
comments also.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Anything else you got going on that you want to? You got a little platform here, so.
I can't think of anything in particular. The other part of the department, other than marketing, again, we talked about is business education.
Mm-hmm.
We offer an undergraduate degree in business education, which we are the only university in the state that is still doing that.
Wow.
And many states do not have any program in business education. So,
and what does business education encompass?
It involves basically preparing students to, first of all, teach. And now certification's a little different. It's not just high school, it's middle school and high school. Mm-hmm. So your business certification or license will cover you to teach grades 6 through 12. Mm-hmm. Part of that degree program, in addition to learning the business content, you learn how to teach with the education courses and pedagogy that you'll pick up. And then at the end of the program, you have a Residency 1 and a Residency 2. That's required by the state. Residency 1 puts you out part-time for a semester working with teachers. You're not responsible solely for a course, but you might be team teaching with a teacher or teach a particular lesson or tutor students and do different types of activities.
I think we had a practicum, but it was much shorter than that. I think we had to do 2 practicums.
Yeah,
if I remember.
I think in Residency 1 they go out a couple days a week for the entire semester, and then they come back and take classes while they're here. Residency 2, which is their last semester, is the traditional student teaching. They put them out in 2 different placements. They try to put them in a middle school for one and a high school for the second placement. Middle school, they're primarily teaching keyboarding and computer applications. Mm-hmm. High school could be anything.
All bets are off.
Yeah, but when they finish our program, they're certified to teach all the business courses in the state curriculum, and they can also use that certification to teach all the marketing courses. So basically, you can teach anything business or marketing in Tennessee schools, and that license is transferable to other states as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I added the praxis for economics.
Yes.
I did not take the government one, but I added that, and I taught that in some business management classes. So it's pretty easy to add some other things, and it kind of expands your resume a bit. I student taught middle school and high school at Eagleville.
Oh yes.
So it was pretty interesting to stand there, and at the time I was teaching a web design class, and see kindergartners walk by. 'Cause that's the only K-8 school, public school left in Rutherford County, and then I was at Siegel High School, and taught over there as a.
Fantastic. Do you remember who you were with at those two places?
I do. Yeah, Joey Reed at
Coach
Eagleville,
Reed.
and Stacy
Anderson.
Yes.
And both are still out there and going strong. We've had many student teachers with them.
Yeah. They were good.
Great examples.
They are. Yeah, they were excellent mentors, and learned a ton. And again, humbling, right? I learned maybe I'm not as ready as I thought I was. So
sometimes that's a great lesson.
Yeah, before you criticize a teacher, you need to be a student teacher.
Right.
Because let me tell you, it's a lot more than what you think.
Yes.
So, well, very good. Dr. Smith, thank you so much.
I
appreciate you.
It's great to see you.
Appreciate all you're doing. And like I said, it's always cool to reconnect with some of your heroes,
That it is. And we're proud of everything you've accomplished, too.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been great. So, hey, thanks for watching Coffee Talk, Jay Harmon Home Team, Jonathan Harmon with Dr. Vincent Smith. If you're looking for an intern for your business out there, I'm going to put his contact in there.
Good.
And specifically, we're talking marketing, selling. What else do you think?
Marketing, sales, anything associated with marketing.
Okay.
Usually.
Cool.
Paid internships are the best.